Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRW, where nerds rule the world, and I have mysteriously come back from the dead. I am Heather Hurst. I hope everyone is doing great this week. It's been a while, and I am here with our great leader-in-chief, Kuya P. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Always a pleasure to see you. And you are not dead. You are very much alive, but you are a very busy person, as we all are. I don't even know how I juggle it, but sometimes, you have to handle just responsibility. So all love, you're always family, never dead, just busy. So it's all good, my friend.
I don't know. I was told that I turned paler, so I might somehow I'm whiter than I was. So I have no idea how that happened. So I might be dead.
Okay.
It is a brand new week in the movie world, as it is every single Monday. And let's talk about, but we like to talk about new. Let's also talk about the past. Kuya P, tell me what you've been watching, since we literally haven't caught up in like a bazillion years.
I've been out of the loop, to be honest. As you know, we generally always have screeners that we can't talk about until embargo dates are up. Shows I've been DVRing a lot because I've been busy at screenings, and when I have been home, I actually haven't been watching that much. I'm trying to think what I have been watching off of the DVR. I know I've been trying to watch wrestling here and there because we also have the Kayfabe Baby show. I haven't tuned into AEW Collision yet. They just had their second episode, and over this past weekend of this recording, they just had Forbidden Door. And so I'm going to be all out of the loop whenever we do our Kayfabe Baby podcast, because I haven't been able to watch. So I'm going to have to let everybody else kind of run the show, because I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I can't think of anything good or bad to promote other than life is busy, like you already know. So how about you? What have you found time to squeeze in outside of the studies, outside of life? What are you watching? That's what I want to know.
We finally caught up on some documentaries. The last 2 weeks we've seen some good stuff come out. Today I watched Take Care of Maya, which is a documentary about the medical system and how easy it is to claim abuse for children, especially with certain types of medicine, and how it has killed people from it's just a really very heavy documentary. It's hit Netflix, I think, on Friday. We watched Still, finally, Michael J. Fox's documentary, which was it was better than the Stan Lee documentary. I will say that.
Oh, I did watch that. I want to have a slight convo on that later with you, but Still was good. I've been meaning to watch that one. I didn't tune into that yet.
Still was great. The only thing I would have liked, and I think this was something that we talked about when we saw the original trailer, when we were excited about it, was we would want more about what his history is. We didn't want, because in the trailer they made it sound like it wasn't about his illness, because he is not his illness. He is trying to surpass it. He is still a person, but it kind of got lost in the illness, just like I think everyone was kind of expecting. So there were some elements of his history that we would have liked to see outside of it, but it's also just an hour-and-a-half documentary. And got to respect the guy. He also did not cross the picket line to have the premiere of the documentary, because he was respecting the Writers Guild. So, small losses to big wins, and it is a good documentary overall. I just wish there was more to it. That's it.
Okay.
The Stan Lee documentary, on the other hand, if you haven't seen it, please check out Kirby's son's response to it. I think that will be everything that most people need to know. But yeah, just some documentaries that I've kind of let flush down a little bit. Have not started watching Invasion yet.
Oh, really?
No, okay. I thought we were thinking about it, but we're like, from the way the story is, I'm almost wondering if it's going to be kind of movie-esque, a lot like Falcon was, or maybe it should actually be like a movie kind of styling. I'm also going to say that Marvel kind of disappointed. AI would seem to be the correct place to put with Secret Invasion, but we are not far enough with AI, and especially since you are not paying artists for the AI system to steal the artist's work, I've been kind of iffy on jumping in just yet, but I'll get there.
Okay. Gotcha.
I want to be angry about AI for like 5 minutes before I jump in.
I understand that, and I feel you on that. I feel you on that. It was just like the opening credits, I believe, right?
Yeah,
I've already watched it, but I can't remember them touching anything else with that.
No, it's literally just the opening credits.
Okay.
The director said
I got it, to be honest, are kind of forgettable, to be honest. It looks like everything else we've seen in the past. So
that's one of the big complaints, is that there are two things about AI. We are not fighting AI. There's nothing we can do about it. It's coming. It's been in the movies for decades. It was coming all the time. But it's one of those where it shouldn't be taking away from the creatives that it's stealing from, yet it's stealing from them anyway, and we're not paying the creatives for it.
Completely agree.
But the only thing I've seen is the opening, and Marvel and Disney have some incredible openings.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that. It's incredibly forgettable because it's so passé, and the director has admitted that he didn't even understand the technology, and it's like,
yeah.
So, but I'll get to it.
Okay.
All right. It looks like I upset you with that.
No, you didn't upset me at all. I was like, oh, I guess we're not gonna we're gonna have to wait for you to do the Secret Invasion reacts, because Glenn and I watched it, and I was like, we'll hold off to do Secret Invasion recaps because I want to check with Heather. And so if you're busy, you're not watching it yet, then we'll just
I can watch it this week. It's fine.
No worries.
Be mad for like 5 minutes. All right. But let's move on. Let's get back to the movies of the week, because we want to go forward, not back. Especially since it is the final week of Pride, and we have not done much when it comes to the Pride representation in this, and we usually do, especially since there is representation in real form with our podcast, so we want to make sure that we get some in, because everybody deserves to be represented.
As an intersex person is grounds for celebration.
3, 2, 1.
Society generally considers that biological sex is cut and dry. Actually, it's not cut and dry. We don't fall neatly into that male-female box. I was born intersex, and although I was born with a vagina, I was also born with internal testes.
We live in a society that's so binary. So as an intersex person, where do I fit?
The definition of intersex is any variation in a person's sex characteristics.
They told my mom, you have a child that we feel is abnormal.
And this body was a problem that needed to be fixed.
And that I should never tell anyone about it.
It's therapeutically highly desirable to have them surgically corrected at an early age.
I just remember like a lot of pain.
In most cases, there is absolutely no evidence to suggest that surgery is medically necessary.
I can walk into
The doctor changed the course of my life. I did not consent to that surgery.
I had to tell the world what had happened.
We've just been silent about this for so long.
I'm gonna come out today. I'm gonna tell the Texas Senate. I was born with balls.
I think we're at the cusp of something cool.
Our goal is to pass a bill to condemn these medically unnecessary surgeries.
A huge revolution starting right now.
Hey! Intersex surgery!
Just existing as an intersex person is grounds for celebration in a whole world that doesn't see us. But you know what?
I am intersex. Intersex.
We are here now.
Awesome.
In a world where parents are vilified for allowing their children to be who they are at age of consent, and getting surgeries that they prefer, we are seeing the exact opposite in parents who are glorified for pushing a specific gender on their children at a very, very young age, something that they cannot consent to. Sometimes they don't even know. And it's a very, very heavy topic that really shows you the differences in opinions, and it helps even out the lines a little bit. So yeah, Kuya, what do you think?
This is why I love documentaries, to just bring light to issues like after we leave like high school and college, right? Like we learn the lessons that we're supposed to learn in school, but then when you get out into the real world, you kind of put the books away and you just concentrate on your jobs. So I love with documentary films because we all know like that's what we tuned into now. Like people don't read anymore. We're watching TV. We're watching movies. So when cinema in regards to like documentaries come along, it just opens people up and it opens people's spectrum up to just the rest of the world, what they're going through and their realities. And so I love this. I just love that it's bringing up this issue so that we can start these conversations to heal the world and hopefully change the world for the better. Because again, like you said, like it's because just how archaic the way of life and thinking was back then, people would just change things and not knowing. But now that these conversations happening, people are like, okay, no, that was not the cool thing to do. And we should, allow them to choose what they want to be, whatever it may be going forward in the future. And, I just have a big heart and I want things like this to help change the world. And I think it's necessary. I can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to see it. And I love things like this because we don't have these conversations. And if people aren't going to read the paper, people aren't going to pick up that book discussing it, which there's a ton of material out there, but because people don't want to pick it up. And if this is the means we can change and educate the world, then damn it, let's have this documentary and speak on it. And hopefully people listen and open their heart and be open to it, because sometimes people close themselves off to this. Open your heart, lean with your heart and with your ears wide open to get the message. That's what I think. I know that was a lot. I'm sorry. I felt passionate. I felt very passionate about it because there's so many problems in the world. And this is one thing that is just don't concern you. This concerns these people. So don't put yourself and your opinions onto these people. I hate that. It's their body, their choice. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm getting mad now. What about you, Heather?
The science is there. There is more than one gender. Nobody is the same. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect, but everyone is perfect in their own body. Let them be who they want to be. Let people be who they are. There is a wide swath of in variety of gender. Gender itself, the binary, is actually a very, very modern term. So this is going to be a really fun way to look, not fun, emotional way to look at a very real truth. Sex and gender are just a thing. And it's one of those where this is going to be a great way to look at it. Happy Pride to all of my fellows in LGBTQIA community. It's a really good way to end the month. So check out everybody. I think it will be in select theaters, so make sure to check it out. But it will be coming to streaming, I believe, pretty quick. So keep your eyes out. All right, number 2. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this one. And if you haven't figured out what it is, then you're not paying attention to the rock chasing behind you. Let's talk Indiana Jones.
Great segue, Heather. Great segue.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy? Don't move.
We need to get out of here. Stop! Sorry.
Helena!
Dr. Jones, get him. Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all. You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
Fasten your seatbelts. There might be some turbulence.
You've taken your chances, made your mistakes, and now a final triumph.
Indy! Give him hell, Indiana Jones!
A few times in my life, I've seen things. I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times, including once by your father.
Sorry!
But I've been looking for this all my life.
All right, go.
Yeah, the final adventure with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny coming exclusively to theaters, and I missed my chance at seeing a early screening of it, like a total plebeian. So now I'm watching it with everyone else this weekend. But it is his final ride again, because we're pretending that Crystal Skull never happened, because that was just awkward. All right, so Kuya P, I don't think we can talk too heavily on it yet, but what are your thoughts?
Well, on the channel, as we are trying to do now, you and I have had quite a few recently that are up there on our YouTube Shorts, y'all. Check out the Shorts tab on our YouTube page, where we drop our initial thoughts coming out of the theater. My thought, without spoiling, was for me, Indiana Jones was the film franchise that made me fall in love with the film. Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Temple of Doom, the Last Crusade, and yeah, there was Crystal Skull. Where does that fit? I actually didn't hate it as much as a lot of people do. I thought it was okay, but it just felt weird and still doesn't fit. And now adding this film into that pantheon, I don't know where that fits still with all of it.
I kind of erased that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to, like, it's been a long time since I've seen Crystal Skull, but I think they are kind of like erasing it, if I'm not like you said. But really enjoyed the first 3. They made me fall in love with film. But I also felt very problematic about the Indiana Jones stuff as I got older, because white men stealing treasures from societies and cultures that should be with them and not in a museum in Europe or in America. But again, we live and we learn, and we get older and we know better. We learn better, or whatever. I can't talk right, but I really enjoyed this one. Harrison Ford. I wish we could have gotten so many more other Indiana Jones installments before he got this old. But he still does an amazing job. He does. It's a very coherent story. It's a good way to have him involved. I don't want to say anything more than when that, I'm not sure what the rest of the press is saying about this being his last or more to come.
They've confirmed it's his last.
Okay, then it's a great swan song to Harrison. I appreciated it. There's so many moments that captured the previous films that they kind of bring those essences into this to help kind of send them off. And and you kind of just want it for him, because again, Harrison, he lives it. You can tell. You look at him. It's past his time with Indiana Jones now. And so yeah, really enjoyed the film. I'll have a full review on the channel soon, but I had a great time with it. It reminded me of everything I loved about the previous films, and a great way to send off Harrison as our Indiana Jones. It just makes me just sad that we didn't have more when he was much younger.
Okay.
How excited are you, Heather? So Crystal Skull kind of fell off for you. Are you still a fan of it?
I love Indiana Jones. It's one of the film series that make being a film fan fun and exciting. I always love the argument about, and we had, by the way, guys, if y'all haven't, go watch our initial reaction to this trailer, because Kuya P and I actually have a very long and intricate conversation about how important it is for us to have movies like Indiana Jones, in which conversation can be built around things like ancestral theft and cultural theft.
We did go off on a tangent on that, didn't we?
We go into a really good conversation about it. So if you have 15 minutes to go and watch a trailer react, please do, because actually a really fun way. I completely changed Kuya P's perspective of everything he just said. So go do that. Go take a look. But it was one of those words. I always love the argument that Raiders, you didn't actually need Indiana Jones there and everything would have turned out the same way. It's one of my favorite arguments. I love it. But it's one of those movies that makes loving film a great passion. You can always go back to them. I've seen all three of the originals in like IMAX, when they bring it back, they update it and they do everything, they bring it back. I love seeing them like that. Kind of like Jurassic Park. There's nothing like classic Jurassic Park and classic Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. It's so good. I am for the most part excited. I also won't deny that I'm a little concerned, mainly because of just the quality of remakes lately, and that's remakes, continuations. There's something that's already in our hearts and our heads. There's already that nostalgia there that we have an internal expectation, whether we mean to or not. And we want something that just isn't available. We want something that just really shouldn't ever be remade, redone. And I'm okay with being a little bit concerned, because that means that I will be much more excited to watch, much more in like a better mindset. When I'm there, I'm not expecting greatness. I'm expecting something that is a remake of a film that's literally 30 years old. So I'm going in with skepticism, but I'm pretty excited.
It's a fun film. It's a fun film. And it's great to see Harrison Indy with a hat on his head again. And a good ensemble. I really enjoyed, I think the female co-lead is from Fleabag.
Oh, such a good show. If you have never watched Fleabag, please watch it. It is so good.
So she's wonderful. I forgot her name, the actress's name, but she's wonderful.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. We usually have IMDb up, but we try.
I know, I should have had it up. I'm sorry. But yeah, just the cast is in it. A surprise appearance from that I wasn't expecting for him to be in it. Antonio Banderas. He has a small part in it, and it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That's
right. Phoebe, I remember Phoebe, yeah.
Yes, and so she was wonderful. And some favorites come back and some new characters, but a great film and one. Yeah, I can always enjoy seeing an Indiana film in the theater. And like you said, when they bring it back and all that, there's just something magical about it that reminds me of what I fell in love with film, like you and you as well. And one thing that I really liked, and this isn't a spoiler, but there's a particular location that they go to that when I was a young kid growing up living overseas, that they go to, that for this to be the swan song for Indiana Jones, for them to go to this place, and that personal connection for me, because when I was a kid and I went to this place, it was when I was falling in love with Indiana Jones, and it's a ancient place. And so for that connection to be there was a very personal thing for me, if you will, because I felt when I visited that place as a kid and watching Indiana Jones as a kid, and it made that correlation. Oh, I want to go hunt for treasure at this place. It was a very personal thing for me that I was like, wow, for them to sign off and them to go to this location was, yeah. And I think I did an excellent job not spoiling right there, Heather. You gotta give me. You
did a very good job of getting your emotion out, getting your feels out. Yeah, absolutely.
And without spoiling, I didn't say the place at all.
And Kuya P is the king. The only one who spoils worse on this channel than Kuya P is Glenn. So I think that's a good point. All right. Go see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It is out in like 72 hours from this recording. So get your tickets. Some theaters are already sold out. So get them quick. Get them right meow. All right. We're going to go right back under the sea for this one. Let's talk some Krakens, y'all. What you gonna do when you get to
Your mother never told you were royalty? The women in our family have the mighty power to turn into giant Kraken.
What now?
Ruby, you're a princess. Address the crowd.
I think I am having a panic attack. Okay, Ruby, have a completely, totally ordinary day. You got this. I feel like a freak. Ow! I just want to be Ruby Gillman, normal teenager.
Ugh, boo. Where's the fun in that?
You have powers beyond your imagination. You are the protector of all the ocean's creatures. It's up to you to stop the evil mermaids.
But people love mermaids.
Of course they do. People are stupid.
Show me how to use my powers.
Are you ready? Let's see what you're capable of. Body armor.
Laser eyes. How do you shut them off?
Almost.
It's time to go big.
We're still on for our tutoring session later, right?
Oh. Anything for my algebra.
You're what now?
I mean, bro. Algebro, like you're my brother. You're my math brother.
You know, I think I like the first one better.
All right. There we go. Ruby Gillman, Heather.
Ruby Gillman, teenage Kraken. I think it's every, even though H.P. Lovecraft is a piece of crap, not a piece of crap, I think it's every fan who has ever read or appreciated anything H.P. Lovecraft was the person who wanted to be basically everything Ruby is. So, yeah. Kuya Pete is another one that I didn't get to see because, but to be fair, he took the kiddo, and I respect that. So, Kuya Pete.
And I will tell you, the kiddo didn't get up, so it ended up just being me and my mom. Yeah, the kid did not want to get up because it was an early screening.
That's fair.
It's summertime. She didn't want to get up at like 9. I think I left out of the house at like 9:30 because this was one of our further screening locations that we go to. So she didn't want to get up, and I can't blame her. 8 o'clock on a Saturday to go, like, yeah.
He's a teenager.
Yeah, and yeah. So. But I told her when both my mom and I got home, like, you missed out. I enjoyed it. Ruby Gillman, more than the trailer. This is a longer trailer than the one I watched before. And actually, the film was a lot more from having just saw that one trailer. I was like, oh, there's more of a it's more of a coming of age story for I would say as that everybody can relate with. As a teenager growing up, you have that coming of age that we can all relate to. And then when you're a female, that aspect of life, and then responsibilities. And then when you're different, you're a Kraken in this, but they're Canadian. And so that's a joke there. That's in there. That because they're undercover. We all see that they're Kraken.
Okay.
But the joke is, quick inside joke is that they explain off to everybody that they're from Canada, and that's just what Canada people look like.
I mean, to be fair, that is what Canadians look like.
So just that, being different, being a female, growing, being a teenager, and then you find out that there's this whole other world that you didn't know, that you're like really this Kraken. It was a great story, and then relationships with family and family secrets. I enjoyed it. It was a lot more than I thought, and so it made it just a great experience. And I think they've done Shreks. We've gotten a bunch of Shreks. We've got a bunch of How to Train Your Dragons. I think this is hopefully my hope. Another great series that they could go back to the well. This is a very self-contained story, but as a writer myself, I was like, oh, I would love to explore this and that and this. So I really enjoyed it because it spurned additional creative juices for me, and I had a good time with it. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Okay, that sounds like planets. My husband made the comment. He's like, he's kind of 50-50. He really wants to watch it, but it might be more of a like at home movie for him. But one of the big reasons is that one of the great things that we're seeing in modern filmmaking is the conversation of women, of young girls growing up, because how girls grow up, develop versus how males develop, even though I apologize with the binary, we talked about that before. Binary doesn't exist, but how those two general binary dynamics grow is very, very different. And it's nice to see more movies that talk about female within the binary development, and it's great. And he's like, the trailer reminded me a lot of Turning Red. And it's going to be one of those where, like, from his perspective, he's like, it's going to hit me, more than it's going to hit me, my husband. So he's kind of like this, but I think it looks really cute. It looks really fun. It looks kind of a troll, like Trolls, like it's going to do those types of jokes. I'm guessing that's what it's going to do.
I think they went not as much as Trolls, not as much as Trolls. Yeah, but there's some good moments, and I don't want to spoil things. I'm gonna leave it there. I love her squad, if you will.
Gotcha. All right, so that
Ruby
means go get tickets to Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, and it hits theaters this weekend. Make Indiana Jones and Ruby Gillman a double feature. Go to the movies. Go enjoy yourself. Have fun.
Well, this is 4th of July weekend, right? I think when this is
long
launches,
weekend.
There's a lot of great cinema to recommend this weekend. So yeah, everybody, Indiana Jones, Ruby Gillman, your choices. Spider-Verse. If you haven't, Spider-Verse, to me, probably the best. I'll say for me, the best film of the month. So I will say that. So, Spider-Verse is great. So if you haven't seen that, Transformers, if you haven't seen that, recommended. Blackening.
So good.
Took me by complete surprise. And honestly, with all the comedies I've seen this summer thus far, to me, it's the number one comedy for me thus far.
It's super good.
So, is that good? Yeah.
Blackening is for all of you who celebrate Juneteenth, and for all of you who should celebrate Juneteenth, definitely check out the Blackening. We'll have our reviews. All of the things that Kuya just said, the reviews are either on the site or coming because
we've been busy. We're
behind. Time is a circle and a straight line, and it folds in on itself, and it's fake. So we'll get there. But
it's as messed up as the Flash timeline. And don't see that one. If I could say one thing, y'all, of all the amazing movies we just spoke of, Flash, but also trash, is not one of them. Don't waste your money, please. That's it.
Yeah.
Unless you're seeing it free, and then it's still a waste of your time. But anyway, that's just me.
I have not seen it. There are reasons I haven't seen it. So with that in mind, thinking of the Flash, everybody is number 3. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is number 2, and Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken as number 1. Kuya P, what are your thoughts on my picks this week?
Thumbs up, all the way up. Good stuff. Excellent choices this week. It would have been my own. I would have definitely made all 3 of them my own as well. So yes.
Sweet.
Well done.
Happy end of Pride Month to everyone. Check out, respect each other, love each other. Love is love. Our bodies are our bodies. Let people be happy. Follow us on all the places. Kuya P, tell them where they can follow you.
You can follow me at The Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and of course here with Heather, Glenn, and the whole squad at the NRW and Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Heather, how can we follow you?
You can follow me at Nerd is a Heather on Twitter and at Heather is a Nerd on TikTok and Instagram. And of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit all of those important buttons. Well, not all of the important buttons, but that's probably a conversation with HR. And with that being said, we will see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.